everybody. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. Okay, so have I mentioned how much I hate this new Facebook Live thing? Like, where are the comments? So hi, happy Monday. If you can see me, please make a comment or something so that I can know that you're there. Because put my phone on silent. This new Facebook Live thing, I don't really have the hang of it yet. So if you can see me, give me a thumbs up or something, because this is it's wacky for me. I don't like this new Facebook Live thing because I feel like I can't really see you as well. And I know I'll get used to it, I know. But if you can, oh, thank you so much for a wave. Hi, Priscilla. Thank you for a wave. I really appreciate it. Ah, yay. Okay. Thank you, Jessie. Mwah. So happy to see you. Okay. So it's different because the window is like much smaller than it was on the previous Facebook Live thing, and the comments are way over there. So I feel like I'm like, if I'm looking over here, please forgive me. I'm not with you. I'm with you. So I was so excited to connect with you today because we're coming to the time of the full moon, and this is the May full flower supermoon. You got to say that one carefully. This is the last supermoon of 2020, and it's like we're just barely into 2020. And it seemed like for the last couple of years we were having like supermoon, and this is the last supermoon for this year. And it just has to do with where the Earth is and the orbits and all of that. And then that's well above my pay grade. I don't do so much into astrology, but I do try and pay attention of what's going on because it really does affect us. And as I'm learning astrology, but it really does, and it is not my focus and it's not my strength. But it really, what's going on with the moon really does affect us. So the fact that this is the last supermoon of 2020, it kind of gives us a breath, because a lot of us are really susceptible to the pull of that moon energy, and it can get really over around that full moon time. And remember, we've talked before about how energy is not like this. So it rises up to the full moon, it comes back down to the new moon, and it is not instant. So we are already, even though today is May the 4th, May the 4th be with you. I love Star Wars. That even though it is May the 4th and the full moon is on May 7th, we are already starting to feel the pull into that full moon portal. So it is coming. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, last full moon, it was like the pull, I was going to pull my hair out. It was really intense. So this one is going to be less intense, but as we are seeing this is the last super moon of 2020, this is going to be, it's going to be a little easier going forward in our full moons, because they're not going to be so intense, because they're not going to be so close. The reason it's a super moon is because the Earth is so close to us, it looks so gigantic. And so when it's closer to us, obviously those pulls are going to be stronger. So as we're not going to have those supermoons so much, it's going to be a little easier for those of us who are more susceptible to that Earth energy, to that moon energy. And then it's the flower moon, because it's May. If you know the saying, April showers bring May flowers, it's the flower moon. So, and I've been seeing some really beautiful pictures. We lived in Los Angeles for a lot of years. I'm seeing some beautiful pictures of friends posting out in the California poppy fields. They are just spectacular. If you've never seen anything, like if you've never seen that, definitely just Google it in California poppy fields. They are just spectacular. It is not quite the Wizard of Oz the way it looks like from the poppy fields, but really just incredible. So I have a couple of things today, and we are, as we've talked about before, we are in the Pluto retrograde. And the Pluto retrograde is going to take us all the way until the beginning of October. So we're going to be talking about this a lot. Pluto's going to be hanging around, that Pluto energy. But the Pluto energy, this retrograde, is all about reevaluating what's going on with ourselves and understanding that this is a time of transformation. And I just thought that was so incredibly perfect, because really this is what's going on with us in our society. Oh, Robin, you're so cute. Hi guys. So this is really what's going on with us. That it's actually not as curly as it should be because I kind of put it back up for a few minutes because it was hot in my bathroom. Anyway, different story. So the Pluto retrograde is reminding us about this time of transformation. It's this time of really going within and looking at what is going on with us. And people are talking about, hi Debbie. People are talking about. Oh, Debbie, hug Cindy for me, please. Mwah. People are really talking about the frustration regarding the quarantine and whether you're on week 6 or week 26. I mean, it's hard and there's a lot of emotions involved with that, and we've talked about that before, and how we've gone through the grief process. And we were talking the other day about, and I forget who I was talking with, but we were talking the other day about metamorphosis, because this is really what's happening. And we have the caterpillar that goes along and lives its life and doesn't really care about anybody or anything, and it's munching along, and it doesn't really react with the larger world because it can't see the larger world. And then it goes into the cocoon. And the caterpillar spends a period of time, probably about 6 weeks, in the cocoon, and then it starts to bore a little teeny tiny hole to get out of the cocoon. And it is pushing itself out, and it's struggling, and it is hard to reemerge from that cocoon. And we can't help it, because if we help the caterpillar, then it won't fly. It has to struggle through that tiny pinhole to get all the fluid in its body from its transformation, to squeeze that out of the body and really use that fluid to inflate its beautiful wings and become a butterfly, at which point it emerges from the cocoon and it can fly around, and it can really take an inventory and an appreciation of a much larger world. The caterpillar lives its life at, knee level, and that's it. That's all it can see until it can emerge from that hibernation, that transformation, and really come out into this beautiful butterfly where it can appreciate the world around it. And that is exactly where we are. And that is what's going to be happening for us with Pluto in this retrograde that's going all the way out to the beginning of October, which is like miles from now. I mean, it's really not, but where we are stuck in the house, it still seems kind of miles from now. And so what happens in this full moon, and this is the time of, in this full moon, where we are being called to assess where we are and have that time of self-reflection. And so in this full moon cycle, what we're really being called on to notice is that self-reflection and introspection of, where can I bring more inner peace to my life? Where can I bring more gratitude to my life? Where can I bring shifts in my life that will make me happier when I emerge from my cocoon? What kind of transformation do I want to have during this time of cocooning, this isolation that we're having? And I picked, so last week I think I shared with you, and if you follow me for any length of time, you know how much I love Colette Baron Reed. And so I had grabbed onto her Goddess Power Oracle cards. Now, these cards have been out for a while, and truthfully, they've been sitting on my table for a really long time. But it wasn't until this time of the cocooning that I really finally had a chance to really dive into these. And I just didn't want to gloss over them. When you're working with cards, it's so great to like get to know them and kind of bond with them. And so I really didn't want to gloss over them. The honest truth is they sat on my bedside table for probably 6 months, and then they sat on my table in my reading room for another 6 months, because I really wanted to read the book and really get to know these goddesses. And then Colette was so generous to produce some history documents that they sent to me. If you buy them here, you get them for free, and I didn't, and they sent them to me anyway, and just, so lovely. And so today, I think last week we brought in our first goddess card, and so today I wanted to make sure to do that again, because I really felt called with that. And these cards are just so gorgeous. The artwork on these cards is amazing. But so I pulled this card, Mama Kila, and it says the moon, right? This is the moon. And I'm not familiar with her specifically as a goddess. So I was really loving loving getting to know her a bit. Hi, Shelley, thanks for joining. So let me put on my little glasses, and I want to read this because I just thought this was so fabulous, because she is an Incan goddess of the moon who presides over the power of cycles and seasons. And what I loved is this next paragraph that says, right now, you are invited to see what is familiar and decide whether you need to improve on it or leave things as they are. The answer to your inquiry can be found in the timing of things and the cycle that you're in. And I thought that is just fantastic, because that is literally where we are right now with the Pluto retrograde and this particular moon cycle of the flowerful supermoon, which is calling us to look at that to do that inner reflection and to be able to say, this is what I need to change. What things can I adjust? And this isn't, I know we're talking about the cocoon and this massive transformation, but let me be very clear. This transformation that we're talking about right now in this moon cycle is not about completely uprooting your life, but this is about taking some time as we are starting to emerge. Some states are releasing things. Here in Florida, state parks have started to open, the beaches have started to open, and my particular opinions about all of that aside, as we are starting to emerge from our cocooning, what kind of transformations do you want to welcome into your life? And so I ask you to ask yourself these questions. Hi, I love the comments. Hi, Sai. Hi, Shelley, Priscilla. Hi, Elisa. So I ask you to ask yourself these questions. I love seeing your names pop up. It makes my heart so happy. So ask yourself these questions. Where can I bring more love and gratitude into my life? Where can I take some time for self-reflection? And that's just sitting quietly and just breathing and asking yourself, what kind of changes, if I could, would I choose to make in my life? And this is an amazing opportunity. We talked about this in our sister circle yesterday, about there is going to be a huge shakeup in the job community, in employment. Companies that were there are not going to be there. Employees that were there are going to probably get first dibs to get rehired, but maybe not. And there's going to be a huge shakeup of people who are like, you know, I had that job because it paid the bills, but I didn't really like it. And now that company doesn't exist anymore. And now I'm going to go try and find a different job. And there's going to be a huge scramble as people go back to work. And what's going to happen is companies that were there are not going to be there, and new companies are going to emerge from the vacuum. And we saw this after 9/11. We saw this after the 2009 economic crash as well. Things just emerge, and amazing opportunities are going to be there. So this is a great time for you to really look at, what things would I like to transform and change in my life? Okay, and again, it does not have to be a huge shakeup, but it has the potential to be as big and as transformational as you choose it to be. But here's the thing. You can't, and my friend Carly said this the other day. She said, I manifested the shit out of that. And I love that she said it, because she's young and she's learning to control her power, and I'm so proud of her. But at the same time, what she manifested was something that she had laser focused on, and she knew what she wanted to create. And that's the ticket. So taking this time for self-reflection and taking this time to really allow your mind and your heart to breathe and say, how can I bring more joy? How can I bring more gratitude? What places in my life could I bring more peace to? And how can I go about doing that? And allowing your mind to really tap in to your higher guidance and be able to listen to those voices and that guidance that comes to us from above. You're not imagining things. We expect when we get guidance from above that it's going to be this big booming Carlton Heston voice, Orson Welles voice of God. And that is not how it works. When we hear those voices, it's our voice. It's us. We're hearing it in our own voice, because that's the voice our head can make. Okay? Unless you're, I can't think of, I want to say Rich Little, who is a really old impressionist that probably nobody even would remember. But in we hear it in our own voice. Now, when we talk to spirit, when I'm talking to loved ones in spirit, I still am hearing it in my voice, in my head, because that's how it processes, which is normal. I may understand that this is a deep voice, or this is a rich voice, or it's a squeaky voice. I will have that understanding, but I'm still hearing the words in my own voice. So when you sit to get quiet and you are welcoming all of this stuff in, and you are connecting with your higher guidance, and you're waiting for, you're hearing it in your own voice, don't discount it, because it's still you, okay? It's still the higher guidance. It's your pipeline. So it's gonna sound like, somebody remembers him. So it's going to sound like you. That doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't mean you're imagining. It doesn't mean you're making it up. Write it down, because those are the connections with our higher guidance that are so important. And such divine wisdom can come from our higher guidance when we just turn off the left side of our brain, the monkey mind, and we allow that process to flow with our higher guidance. But allow that it's going to be in your own voice, because that's perfectly normal. Now, if you have questions, Sai, you're not old. I'm not old. You're not old. We're going to redefine what old is, because 50 ain't it. But yes, I saw Rich Little when I was in Vegas years ago. Okay, so I'm going to pull some cards from, this is the Work Your Light Oracle cards from Rebecca Campbell, who I adore. I love this deck. The energy in this deck is fantastic, and for me, it makes me super happy. So I am going to pull some cards, but if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and I am so happy to try and tap in to whatever I can. But so we were talking about the goddess Mama Kila, the Incan goddess of the moon, and understanding the cycles and the transformation, and allowing those things to unfold as they are taking shape in your life, and asking yourself, where can you welcome in some more peace? Where can you welcome in transformation, some more gratitude? How can you use this time of our cocooning as we're starting to slowly, safely prepare to leave our cocoons and come back out into the larger world, hopefully with a different perspective, and that we have transformed, that we have allowed this time to be a time of transformation and welcomed that. Where can you, did I just go away? Uh-oh. Am I still here? Uh-oh. Can you see? I have like a trouble message. Okay, if you can hear me, okay, you're telling me you can hear me. I can't see you. The screen went blank. So you're telling me you can hear me. Hopefully you can see me as well. Hi, Tracy. Okay, awesome. I'm going to scroll back in the comments, because Priscilla said something really important. She said, the voice in my head often tells me I can't, even now as I'm speaking. How do you switch to more positivity? Priscilla, I want you to know that the voice in your head that is telling you that you can't, that's your ego, okay? That's fear. That is not higher guidance. Your higher guidance is never negative. Your higher guidance, even when it's telling you don't do something, it's never negative. It's not going to be like you're stupid, you're a failure. Anytime your higher guidance is trying to guide you away from something, it's going to still come in a positive way. You might want to rethink that. That might not be your best idea. Or if you're in imminent danger, your higher guidance will simply say, stop, sit up, turn left. It's never going to be self-berating. It's never going to be negative, like you suck, don't do that. That's not the voice of higher guidance. So if you are getting that in your head, I believe me, I understand it. And I want to tell you, I'm sorry that you're feeling that, and I get it, because we all have that voice in our head that says we are not you know, we are not good enough, and that we are not, you know, we all have that place where you can just rip ourselves apart. So when you are getting that, what I want you to tell yourself is, so people who are more demure than they will say, you know, like Mary Kay, most of you know I'm also director with Mary Kay. Mary Kay would always say, cancel, cancel, cancel. And I'm sorry, but my inner voice sometimes was a real bitch and needed something more strong. And so a lot of times in my head, when I'm hearing that in the left brain, that negative self-talk, I am just out there going, shut the heck up. So you may need to be a little bit stronger with yourself. But the more I did that, the quieter she got. The more she could not control me, the smaller she got. And that's part of learning to control our emotions and learning to control our energy. So, okay, we see you and you hear me, yay. Okay, trying to tap into my intuition more and hear my guides. Okay, so anything that can guide me further would be greatly appreciated. Shelly, thank you so much for that question. And that's gonna go back to Priscilla, and also for Lisa, who also asked if she was open for any message. You guys, when you're trying to tap more into your intuition, seriously, the best thing is to get quiet and breathe. Okay, and I don't want to spend 10 minutes to do a meditation here, but I want you to know we are working on that to be able to produce a meditation for you. And I am, if there's interest, I have had a couple people ask me about doing like a weekly meditation time, or a weekly, you know, something through Facebook Live here to do a meditation. So like a live meditation. If you're interested in that, put it in the comments, let me know, or send me a message. But I want to tell you that the best way, truly, when you're looking for some intuition, for me personally, especially when I was starting, one of the best things that I ever was able to do was go stand outside in bare feet, and I will put, and we've talked about the left hand, right hand before, I will put my dominant hand to the earth and my non-dominant hand to the sky. So for me, I'm a left-handed, so I'm going to put my dominant hand facing the ground, because we have chakras in our hands and chakras in our fingertips. We talk a lot about the 7 chakras in the body. Hi, Shanta. Welcome back. We talk a lot about the 7 chakras in the body, but we have the 8th chakra, and there's chakras all through the body. There's hundreds of them. So we want to put our dominant hand, which is the energy outgoing hand, you want to put that toward the ground, and your non-dominant hand, which is the energy a receiving hand, that you want to put to the sky. And I will literally stand there, and I'm going to be like this so you can see my hands on the camera. I will literally stand with my hands straight up and my other hand straight down, having my feet hip width apart, my weight equal, you know, so I'm standing even on my feet, and just breathe. And what I'm doing is I'm welcoming in the energy from the divine light, the source of all that there is. Then welcoming that energy into my hand chakra to come down my body and fill my body, and then connect me from above to below with my dominant hand, is allowing anything that doesn't serve me to go out the bottom, like putting more hot water in your bathtub and then opening the drain so the stuff that's cooler goes out the bottom. But so let me do this. Because I don't want to spend, you know, for me, a meditation is not so quick. So I want to make sure that if we're going to do that, we'll do that. We can do that on another time. So I try to keep these about 30 minutes. But let's do this. If you can safely, if you're not driving a car or anything like that, take your hands and do like this and just rub them. Okay? Like 3, 4, 5 seconds. Okay. And now pull your hands apart and push your hands back together. Can you feel the energy resistance? Imagine that there's a ball of energy in your hands. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Do you feel the buzzing in your hands? Can you allow that buzzing feeling to go all the way out to your fingertips? Can you expand the ball? Can you allow that feeling to come up your arms and receive that energy from the universe? And you can even get more playful with it and pass it from hand to hand. And can you feel the energy shifting from hand to hand? This is so interesting because I no longer can see the playback. I am only looking at my camera. So, and when you're done, and just play with that. But I would love your comments about whether or not you can actually like connect with this. And when you're done, blow it back to the universe and thank it for coming. Okay. Denise Christiniak Wrightington. I hope I said that right. Denise, there's something about a job for you that you're not going to go back to the same job that you had. I feel like that the job that you had that you're furloughed on, somebody there was not very nice to you. And I would allow yourself the opportunity to look for a new opportunity because I feel like it's going to come very easily for you. And I hope that that makes sense. But just as I looked at your name, that was what came through for me. So I hope that that's resonant, and I hope that that somehow is helpful to you. Okay, so here's the thing about energy, because we're playing with this ball of energy. When you are, so I saw that comment and I really just popped in very quickly. So when you are understanding that we have energy all around us and that we are moving through this energy that's always with us, we can welcome it in, we can release what no longer serves us. And when we can connect to that energy, and once you know what it feels like, then you can be more welcoming to when you feel those energies around you, angels, guides, loved ones, and spirit, and that you are connecting with the divine and with Mother Earth, and to just breathe. And just in through the nose, tongue on the roof of the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And when you breathe, breathe all the way down. Don't breathe in here, okay? Breathe through the nose, back the throat, down the chest, the lungs, and breathe all the way into your belly button. And then exhale the same way. Because when we get stressed out, we breathe up here in the top. Breathe all the way down. Breathe all the way up. And just having your hands to receive that energy, the buzzing that can come through your body is unbelievable. And having that experience of receiving that energy, and just as you focus on your breath, allow the thoughts to come into your mind, because the thoughts that are coming in, that's your higher guidance. That's the information. And you know, you may not understand everything about it right that second. I would so strongly encourage you to write it down anyway. I've been having someone ask me about dreams. I've been having dreams about flying the last couple of nights, and it doesn't 100% make sense to me yet, but I have an idea that I'm on the right track about it, and I'm waiting to see what happens with one more night. But I wrote it down. I wrote down the things that I remember from my dreams, because even if I don't understand it right this second, there will be an understanding of it going forward if I'm noticing it. And the only way that we notice it and by remember it is by writing it down so that we can go back to it. So when you get those thoughts in your head, and we are so quick to dismiss that stuff as our longing, our wishful thinking, we're so quick to dismiss that as our imagination. Stop it and write this stuff down so that you can go back to it in another moment, a different moment, where you can come back to it where it will make perfect sense to you. Sometimes it comes through and it's so incredibly perfect and you understand exactly what they're trying to tell you. One of the most amazing and powerful meditations that I ever had was with the medium Gordon Smith, who's, I could just listen to his Scottish accent all day. But in that meditation, I literally had been given the vision of the planet of our Earth, all of the solar system, and these two giant hands out in the middle of the, past the universe. And there I was sitting right up there, just this tiny little dot sitting on this thumb of this giant hand that was protecting and guarding the universe. And it was so powerful and so beautiful to me to really have been given that, the gift of that clear understanding that we are being watched. We are being protected. The universe completely has our back. And by loving, caring beings that are so enthralled with us and want only to help us. Katja, are you having something going on with your feet? You can type that in the comments or maybe message me privately, because you asked me about health and I'm really feeling something about my feet hurt right now when I look at your message. Okay, so we're at like 29 and a half minutes. And like I said, I'm trying to catch the comments as I go by, but I try and keep these around 30 minutes and we still haven't even picked the cards. So I'm going to grab a couple of quick ones here. Okay. Oh, I hope you can see this because I can't tell in the camera. This is Akasha. It says, you are divinely guided. Is this not what I just said? I love the cards. The cards are awesome. The cards never lie. Okay, so we are divinely guided, and our Akashic records, they guide us, and they are the library of all that is or was. Okay. Oh, yellow eyes. Okay. Let's try and talk about that in a private message. But yeah, I feel like there is a connection to your head because we have, okay, so we were talking about chakras. There's like 100 of them just in your feet, pressure points. So Katja, see if you can investigate some acupressure oh, what is the word? Reflexology for your feet, and I think that'll help your migraines a lot. We'll see how that goes. So I'm seeing lots of prayers and healing energy. My sister deals with chronic migraines. I know what a pain in the ass that can be. Hang in there and tell me something else about migraines. Oh, this, Katja, migraines. They're giving me this, and I know this, that this can help a lot with migraines. You got to squeeze really hard on this is a pressure point in your hand, and that can help with migraines. So hopefully that's something that can help you as well. Okay, so the Akashic records are the records of everything that we have ever done or will do in any lifetime that we've lived, and they are there for our divine guidance, because we may not remember them in the left brain while we're being human here, but we can absolutely remember them in the right brain in past life regressions and being able to connect in with our Akashic records and to read into our Akashic records to get guidance. One of the things that we can also do with the Akashic records is we can literally go back and change things that have happened either in the past of this life or in the past of other lifetimes, and be able to go back and change the energy around those events, and that shifts how we go forward in this lifetime, because it's all energy, and the memory of the energy carries forward with us. So you are so welcome, my friend. Okay, so the second card is don't dim to fit in. Okay, so this is another part of this time of transformation that we, it says, how are you dimming your light in order to fit in? This is another really important part in this time of transformation, because we have taken jobs and taken, put ourselves into social circles and habits that were easy and comfortable, and we've gotten complacent with them in this time before our cocooning. And now in this time of cocooning, we really have the opportunity to come out of the transformation as something new, to really allow that light to shine, to allow our light to shine, to allow our divine gifts. And so part of the blessing that is meant to come from this transformation, this divine transformation, is our connection to be able to hear our higher guidance, so that as we come out of our cocoons, we truly are going forward in living our best life, our most authentic life. Okay, true to who we are, not who we are as this human, but who we are as this soul here having a human experience. Okay, last card. Okay, so Anna, grandmother of Jesus, she has been showing up a lot. And I'm telling you, I shuffle a lot with the cards, but Anna has been showing up a lot. She is the one who reminds us that things are unfolding as they are meant to be unfolding. And it says, seeding the light, laying the foundations of the divine plan. She is the one who reminds us that things are moving forward exactly as they have been intended by a universe that loves us, that holds us in these giant hands to protect our world and protect our universe and protect us. And remember that people who are leaving right now for under COVID or whatever, the people who are leaving, they're leaving because that was part of their contract to come here and experience all that they could. They got their shopping lists done and it's time for them to leave. And it's not ever easy. It's never easy, but it is part of their soul contracts that they had because there is a divine plan to the universe. So we have had the Akashic Records. We've talked about so many things. We have Don't Dim Your Light to Fit In, and we have that reminder from Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, that things are unfolding exactly as they should. So even though that's not always easy, things are unfolding exactly as they should. It's up to us to make the best out of that, to take the challenges that are put in front of us, to say, where can I grow from this? Because it's never that the universe is doing something to me, it's that the universe is doing something for me. So what can we do, going back to where we started, that self-reflection, that self-introspection, that divine guidance, where can I grow from this cocoon, this transformation? I went into this cocoon one kind of a person. Who do I want to be? How do I want to be as I spread my wings to leave this cocoon? Well, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for spending some time with me today. I am so incredibly grateful to when you show up and visit. I'm so sorry I can't see the number of you that are here or whatever. I do know that our page is closing in on 600, and I'm so excited to give away another 30-minute free 30-minute reading if you when we are getting to 600. So if you like my page, if you like these videos, please share them with your friends. Invite other people to come and join us on our page. I'm so excited that we're coming up on 600. Who would have ever thought? So I'm so glad to spend some time with you today. Thank you so much. If you're wondering about your life mission is over, if you're alive, it isn't. I love it. That's a great quote. It's such a great book too. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.